Hi friends, welcome to CAT channel. Today we discuss regarding the types of foundations. So first we will see what is called foundation. We all heard about foundations, but some of you may not uh, know the definition of foundation. Foundation is this part of the structure which is called substructure. Substructure is the structure which comes inside the earth, and the structure which comes outside the earth level is superstructure. So this is a substructure which transfers the force or the load comes upon it to the soil down. So it just acts like a transferring agent which transfers the load from the top structure to the soil beneath. So this is called foundation. So there are two types of foundation. The first foundation is shallow foundation and the second one is deep foundation. From the name itself we can understand what is called shallow foundation and what is called deep foundation. The formula to find out what is called shallow foundation is that when we divide the depth of the foundation by the width of the foundation, if it is equal to or less than 1, it is called shallow foundation, and vice versa. If we divide the depth of the foundation with the width of the foundation and which will be greater than 15, it is called deep foundation. Width should be greater than the depth to become a shallow foundation. So let us go into the shallow foundation first. The types of footings that we are giving in the shallow foundation. The first one is spread footing, second is straw footing, the third one is combined footing, and then the raft footing or mat footing. So there are four types of footings in the shallow foundation type. So first we will talk about spread footing. Spread footing is the thing that we usually see for the individual house or small shopping complex, one or two story shopping complex. Like you can see this type of foundation. This is a column and this is a base. This is the footing to support this column. Okay, this is just a simple column and base. It can be rectangular, circular, or a trapezoidal. It's not a trapezoidal. This is trapezoidal. This can be rectangular or circular, and this is simple one column with pedestal, and this is like stepwise step like column footing, and this is trapezoidal. So actually this kind of footing is far better than these two, because this can take more load than these two, because this can take the transverse load also, the shear load also it can take because of its particular shape, and these two will fail but this will never fail. So that is when we are going to design of this design aspect of this spread footing, we can say like that. And these are all called isolated footings too. Okay, this can take the shape of square, circular, or rectangular. Okay, when you see it from the top, when you see it as a plan, it can be in square, so rectangular, or circular. So that's about the spread footing. Then comes to the strap footing. Strap footing is, these two are actually isolated columns. Okay, you can see this, but if the distance between these two columns is higher, there will be a much greater distance between these two columns, and these two columns are connected by a beam like this thing, and that is called strap footing. This type of footing also we are using in residential as well as shopping complex footings. So such a thing where the column interspace between the column is greater, in order to transfer the load between the one column to the other column, and to make it balance, we are using the strap footing. The combined footing. Combined footing is, these are types of combined footing. There are some occasions when two columns are very nearer to each other, and if you give the base of these two columns, it may overlap with each other. So in such a condition we go for combined footings, and this is these two columns, this is the base, this is the plan of it. You can see the plan, two columns with a single base, this is two column with a trapezoidal base. So it can be rectangular or a trapezoidal shape for combined footing. And the fourth one is raft footing. This is raft footing. You can see the base with a number of columns over it, and this is the pan of it with a lot of columns over it. So when this happens is that when the total load over the columns is much higher than the expected thing, then the whole columns can be combined together at the base. And the second condition is that when the load comes per column is very less, then also it is not necessary to provide single base to all the columns. Instead we can go for mat footing, but all this depends upon the bearing capacity of soil. In all this shallow foundation, we can do shallow foundation only when we test. The soil test has to be done, and to know the bearing capacity of the soil, and then we know that the soil have got enough capacity to take the full load of the building. Then we go for the shallow foundations like this. Okay, if the bearing capacity is very less, then we have to go for deep foundation. So now comes to the deep foundation part. Like I said before, the depth of the foundation divided by the width of the foundation should be greater than 15. Then it is called deep foundation. And in the deep foundation, we can go for pile footing, pile foundation, or pier foundation, caisson foundation, and well foundation. Usually we all see about the pile foundation. Pile foundation is we are giving in a place where the load bearing capacity or the soil bearing capacity is very less, and it cannot take the whole load of the building. So we have to find a strata below. Maybe it goes to several depth like 15, maybe 30 centimeter, 30 meter. This depend upon the soil condition, and wherever we find the hard strata which can support the whole load, it can be a rock or a much uh, better strata where it can take the whole load. Up to that depth the pile will go. The depth of the pile will go up to that depth. So this is the pile foundation. This is the column and with a base. So this soil upon which the base is resting cannot take the whole load. So below that we can see 3 piles here, and this strata on which the base of this piles will rest is a hard strata. It should be a solid strata, and it can depends upon the soil conditions. It can go to much bigger depth. Okay, and pile have got another quality, that it has got friction. It will take friction also. The surface area is better, is higher in pile foundation. And when it comes to the pier foundation is we usually give when there is heavy load acting, and there is no need to go much deeper. It can go up to a depth of 5 meter. 5 meter. So it is not shown here, but it is we can see. And in the pier foundation, some area the pier will come up the ground. We can see above the ground too. It is not expensive also. The pier foundation is not that much expensive when compared to the pile foundation. So if the soil condition and the prevailing technology or the skilled labor is there, then we can go for pier foundation. And the third one is caisson foundation or well foundation. Both these are almost same. This is well foundation. Well foundation, we can see there will be, it is got a top plug and a bottom plug and a hollow space in between, which will be filled with soil, so that when the load happens upon the top of it, it will take the whole load and transmit to the ground. So caisson foundation is almost is the same like well foundation, and it is actually designed for watery area, that is for the footings of bridge, for the foundation of bridge. And maybe we can go for some, if it is a railway foundation, it is called we can go for caisson foundation, and that particular type of foundation is called pneumatic caisson foundation, where also the same structure is going there. But in the caisson foundation, they make a precast caisson structure, and they shifted it to the particular location where the foundation have to be done, and then they sink it into the base. And once the base is settled, then they make the column above it to support the railway bridge or whatever bridge comes upon that. So these are the different types of foundation. Again, once again, I will go through again full. That is shallow foundation, deep foundation. In the shallow foundation, we can see there are 4 types of foundations: spread footing, straw footing, combined footing, raft foundation or mat. And then comes the deep foundation, pile foundation, pier foundation, caisson foundation, or well foundation. So I hope you understand the different types of foundation. So with this, I am ending this video. If you like, please subscribe, share, and like. Thank you very much.